I'm a father. My daughter will be 7 years in 2 days. I just bought her the very first smartphone because she will be joining school in September. And the fun thing is that two of her favorite toys are Minecraft and Legos. So I really hope that she will be one of those women in tech. And there is somebody really special in this audience. Now the cheesy part is over. There is somebody really special in the audience who is, I think, one of those women in Estonia who should be, kuidas on eeskuju?
Role model.
Role model for my daughter and others like her in the future. My daughter doesn't have such a crazy hair like Kristel does, but please welcome on the stage the founder of Testlio, Kristel Kruustük.
What a cute introduction. Aww. But yeah, I didn't open up my hair here today, so you can't see the power of my hair actually on the stage. So I hope you'll be okay with that. And you too. So should I use this one as a clicker? Awesome. Thanks for that. Anyways, so I'm very happy to see all of you here today. May I ask first, how many of you here are first-time founders? Can you raise your hand? Oh, not that too many. Wow. And how many of you have founded companies before? Cool. So, but yeah, today I'm going to tell you a story of my own company, Testlio. And I'm also a first-time founder. And so today, yeah, I'm going to share you the story, how I founded the company and what I've learned through the process or the progress of the company. So if any of you don't know, then Testlio is a global community of testers, and we connect them with enterprises who need testing for their platforms. And I founded the company about 4.5 years ago. And to date, we have raised 8.5 million in funding, and we have about 70 people, and we have offices in San Francisco and in Tallinn. So, but yeah, like here's a quick, brief timeline of what we've done so far. So the entire idea of Testlio was actually born out of my frustration as a tester. So back in 2011, when I started working as a tester, I just wanted to build my career in testing. And so in 2012, after I graduated college, I knew that I want to move away from Estonia to just experience something new, something exciting for myself. And so I found a full-time job in London, but at the same time, I started looking for like additional opportunities to just improve my skills as a tester, because I felt that I'm not improving myself fast enough in the company that I was working for. So eventually, I started reaching out to just strangers, asking for help and advice how to become better at it. And then at the same time, I went to a co-working space in London. It belonged to Google. And so I went to Google campus, and I also put up posters on the wall and saying, I hunt for bugs in your software. And a lot of companies actually got in touch with me and said that they would be interested in using my services. And I immediately set the expectation that I'm still learning to be a tester, but they still wanted to use my services. So that was like a great thing for me to happen as well, because they trusted my experience. And then the third thing that I did was my sister introduced me to different online platforms where you can sign up as a tester and then basically work with testers around the world and report bugs together. And I immediately loved the idea, because the opportunity to work with so many different people around the world, connect with them in one platform, and get paid for reporting issues seemed like a real dream come true, right? And I started testing like really actively. I became like the top level tester within just like a very short amount of time. I think it took like 2 months. But I also started seeing a lot of issues in these platforms. Like I was frustrated as a tester because my time wasn't appreciated. So, for example, they paid to their testers per issue, which meant that testers were not really like incentivized going deep into the product and really figuring out what the real issues are and how to prioritize them. Then the second thing was the testers were really competing with each other, and I just hated the fact that if a product is being built by a team, then the team should work together towards quality. And I didn't get that feeling on those platforms. And then I just felt that like testers can't be so unappreciated. And then basically what I did was I started sharing those ideas with my now co-founder and husband, Marco. So besides me just being one of the founders, I founded the company with my husband, Marco. And so basically I started sharing these ideas with Marco, and eventually we went to a hackathon, which was a super exciting time for us because this was very life-changing for both of us. And I just really felt that I'm doing like the platform that I want to build is going to be changing for a lot of the testers the way they work. And so eventually we signed up to this hackathon called ANGELHACK. And so they're a global hackathon series, and they are in 40 different countries, and then all the winners are going to San Francisco to present to like worldwide investors. And immediately when I saw the prizes, I was like, oh my God, I need to get there, like no matter what. And so as I always had like a lot of passion for testing, then we went to the hackathon, and after 25 hours of hacking and no sleep, we basically got a third place in the hackathon. So there were 64 ideas in total presented on the stage, and we were selected as the third place. But unfortunately, only 2 first places got the tickets to the finals to present their ideas for like Silicon Valley investors. And I was a bit disappointed, but still I knew that these people, these judges, like really saw the passion. They know that we really want to change something. And then the next day, I go back to work, and then Marco gives me a call at 12 p.m. And he's like, his first sentence, I still remember it clearly, was, "We're going to San Francisco." And I immediately started getting that song in my head. And he said that he met the founder of ANGELHACK at Google campus while he was sitting there and working on his other projects. And then he just started talking about the story of Testlio and how we've been a couple for like 3 years. And then this guy was like looking at him and saying like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you tell us that you are actually a team together and you've been doing projects together? Like, we thought that you are just a random boy together at this hackathon and nothing ever comes out of it." And then he offered us the ticket at this spot. And basically 2 years later, during that time, we got our first paying customers, and then we flew to Silicon Valley, and we practiced our pitch for about 7 days. There's also a video in YouTube about this. And we practiced our pitch for 7 days, and we ended up winning the hackathon. So you can actually see the photo on the slides as well. So we got $25,000 as an investment. And at this point, I was like, okay, now we're gonna be successful. This is the thing that I learned about being a first-time founder, that success only comes through hard work. And the other thing is, team is very important. Because at the time when I went to the hackathon, I didn't think about the aspect how important is your team. Your team is everything, because you have to go through shit to build success, and that's it. And so, yeah, that's where our journey began, seriously. It was awesome. Like, we spent another month in Silicon Valley just meeting investors, and we were like really on top of the world. We were like, oh my God, we're gonna be so successful. And then eventually we started talking with investors, and we noticed that, yeah, like no one is gonna give you money based on your idea, right? Like, you need to build some traction and show that you can do something with it, right? Ideas don't matter. They matter, but they're not like the first priority, right? And yeah, so eventually we got back to London, and at that time we got another paying customer. So I was the salesman in the team, so we didn't hire anyone. I was still doing the job. I was testing, I was looking for testers to our community, and yeah, I was doing everything. And Marco, on the other hand, was supporting on the tech side and building the platform where we could work together with these testers. And then, yeah, we basically decided to, or I decided to quit my full-time job in London, and so we moved back to Estonia, to Marco's parents' place. So we gave up all of the luxuries that we had in our lives, and we just decided that this is something that we want to pursue. And as I never expected to become an entrepreneur or anything, I didn't have any savings either, so we decided to live with Marco's parents and really figure out, like, what do we want to do next. And then later on, after a couple of months spending in Estonia, we felt things are moving a bit slowly. And we met one of the founders of Pipedrive, Ragnar Sass, who previously gave a speech here on this stage as well. And he immediately told us, hey guys, like, you should go to and apply to an accelerator in the US. And we immediately knew that, like, we took his advice and applied to an accelerator program called Techstars. And so Techstars, if any of you don't know, then Techstars is a global accelerator that is taking in like 1% of applicants. So 1,000 companies apply to a program, and then 10 companies actually get into a 3-month program, intensive program, where you are being mentored by successful entrepreneurs, investors, and there's a funny story with that as well. So we were in Estonia, and we applied to Techstars Austin program in the last day, last minute. And the next day we got an invitation to pitch our idea in Austin. So we flew from Estonia, from Tallinn, to Austin in 3 days to really go in there and like take the last chance of then see whether we can get into the program. And yeah, we arrived to Austin. We were supposed to go in there for only 1 day, so I only had my laptop and my clothes on and my toothbrush. And then it was super hot in Austin, Texas. And basically what happened was we went to an interview, and it was like 3 hours until the interview, and I was just soaking wet because it was so hot in there. And we just wanted to really impress the judge, or impress the managing director of Techstars, and we were like, okay, we can't go into the interview like with soaking wet t-shirts. And so we basically went to a tourist shop, bought ourselves I Love Texas and Don't Mess with Texas t-shirts, and we actually went to the interview. And then the second question the managing director asked us was like, hey guys, like, I can't really concentrate, but what is up with these t-shirts? And so we told the story that we're from cold Estonia and like we're not used to that crazy weather. And then that was a really good icebreaker, and later on in the program we were called a hot mess. But yeah, we were always like super passionate, and we just wanted to always be the first one in the program. So whenever there was like a competition, like you could have won like a vodka bottle for getting your financials in place, then we were always the winners. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, the program itself was super intensive, and what it really taught for us was that the team is everything, just confirming that team is everything in an early stage startup. And the second thing we learned is always send out your invoices, because yeah, the customer that we were working with, a mobile agency in London, got out of business, and so we didn't send them any invoices, so that's another learning curve for us. And then basically after the Techstars program, I was pretty sure that after these programs you have this crazy momentum going on, and now is the next step to go to the investors and show like everything that we've built and all the traction that we've got. But pretty quickly we were turned down by all of them. And, well, I didn't talk all of them, but all of the investors that I was speaking with, like, they all told us that they're not ready to invest. And so we went back to Estonia. The other thing that we realized was that investors really wanted to see like a predictable revenue, right? Like, so up until that point, we were actually just like a services company. So we had the testers in the community, and we were providing service for the customers. And so investors didn't like that. And so basically, we went back to the drawing board, got our first office. This is the second picture you see with the stool and everything is a cleaning room in Garage 48. Preet, maybe you remember that. So that's where I took the investors' calls. That's pretty funny. It was like a super small room. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Like what investors just didn't believe in us. And at that point, we decided that, okay, we're going to figure out like how to build a subscription revenue. And then from there on, we got our first paying customer, like subscription customer, who started being very active on requesting features from the platform. And so they were really influential for us in the company. And then we kept building the product, and we hired our first salesperson in 2014, and we hired her to San Francisco, and she basically came in, got like really, really big customers, like enterprises, and we got into profitability. And then we went to the investors and said, hey, here's like what we've proven. We've been working really hard for the last 9 months. Here's the traction, here's how many customers we have, here's like the predictability that we've built into the revenue. And that's where investors really liked the idea. And so we did our seed round in the end of 2015. And then after that, we kept building the product, and we did our Series A last year in April. And yeah, now today we are a team of 70 people. And what I've learned up until that point is, I'm confirming this again, that team is everything. And you have to, as a team, you have to find each other's weaknesses and strengths and encourage each other to be better every day. And that's it. Keep rocking.
Thank you very much, Kristel. I think now, as Preet said, that you're the role model of her daughter and a lot of little girls. Now that you've said the F word on stage, now I think you're 100%. So thank you very much for this talk. And let's give her a big applause.
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you very much.
Oh, hold on. I have one more slide.
Oh, they've already putting it away.
Well. Oh, no!
So it says testlio.com/jobs. They're hiring.
Yeah, we're hiring. So come join our TESTLIONS family. So
thank you, Kristel.
Thank you.
Go and find her after, and she can tell you more about it. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Can I go?
Yes. We're going to now invite Kristo on stage. He is the founder and CEO of Smartly.io. Yes, there it is. The slide comes up once again. But now when Kristo comes, let's have his slides up here as well. As I said, he's building a company, Smartly.io, right now. And he's going to come and talk about the product market fit and how to actually keep that fit as well. And I'm pretty sure that he knows what he's talking about. This is actually the third company that you're building, right? But something that you might not know about him is that he's the man to blame for the Finnish startup ecosystem. So everything amazing that you know that comes out of there, probably Kristo has been the one involved in that. So AI, sorry, and Slash comes out from there, Startup Sauna, and here he is to tell the story himself. So Kristo, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So I think there is two kinds of startups. There is startups with product market fit, and there is startups without product market fit. And now you can imagine that if you're a startup without product market fit, you have one goal in your life with your startup and with you personally, and that is to find one. And when you have the product market fit, it won't get any easier, because then the job is to keep one. We are working in an extremely fast-changing ecosystem of online marketing with the most demanding online advertisers, among others Zalando, eBay, Skyscanner, and they require us all the time to keep the product market fit. If we stop our product development for 3 months, we start to lose our customers, and in 6 months we're not able to win any new customers. So I'm here to talk today about 3 topics which have changed my life and which have been essential to build smartly as a company. The first topic is how we miserably failed finding a product market fit with my previous company called Metrify. Then the second topic is how at early days with Smartly we were able to find product market fit. And then the third topic is how we are able to keep product market fit and how we work towards that goal as we grow to 500 people and 2-3 billion annualized ad spend, which is very challenging. So I'll start with the story. 5 years ago, we wanted to build a startup. It's a very bad goal to have in life. We didn't know much about building startups. That was called Metrify. And we knew, we've heard about product market fit, we read the blogs and everything else. And we thought that we know what it means. And how we started to find that product market fit was by building slideware. So we talked to industry experts, we talked to coaches at accelerators, and we built slides about interesting topics that are happening in the world. We ended up going to big data analytics, actionable insights, and so forth. Now with those slides, we traveled to Silicon Valley to meet potential customers. And I remember this meeting really well with EA, a big entertainment company. We were supposed to meet a junior developer, analytics developer. The CEO of eBay happens to come to the room and said that this is a really interesting topic. And within the 20-minute meeting when we were discussing about our ideas, he said that we have a new game coming up in 2 months. Why don't we do a pilot? It was me and my co-founder, first-time entrepreneurs, with slides, with no clue what we were talking about, and with no idea of how to build that product. Getting an offer from EA, CTO of EA, to do a pilot in two months. Well, then we were there and thinking, jump into the plane, flew back to Finland and discussed on the plane with Tuomo that what should we do? So we thought, let's go to hire a bit more co-founders who knows actually what we are talking about. Then we hired a previous CTO of Sulake. They're pioneers in online free-to-play gaming, and he built the exact LTV estimation, actionable analytics for that company. And then a data scientist who's been doing churn prediction and everything else, like PhD, crazy guy, in the telco industry. Okay, and then we locked our team to a room, and we started to solve the toughest technology problems, which was the predictive engine. 6 months goes, our savings are gone, but we have a predictive engine. We fly back to Silicon Valley. We go to meet all these gaming companies, among others, EA, and we present the product that now we've done what you asked us to do. And what they told us that, well, this is fairly interesting, but we don't understand what you do, and we have no use for this. Then we ran out of money. We didn't succeed to do consulting. We didn't succeed to sell the company, and the founders started to fight, and our savings were gone and everything else. So that was, we did all the mistakes that you can, but we learned a lot. I wasn't laughing at that stage. Now I'm laughing, but it's 4 years have passed. So, but then we go to the second part. We go to Smartly, and we obviously did not do the same mistakes when trying to find a product market fit. And there is few learnings that we took from Metrify. So now we're at 2013, and we saw that for that technology, there was no use cases. What we started to do is, instead of talking to industry experts or coaches or investors or anyone else who doesn't know anything about customer pains. We started to talk to customers. We went to meet every single customer we knew that might have this challenge. We talked to big, we talked to small, we talked to different verticals with different pains. And maybe after 200 meetings with different customers, we started to see patterns. We started to see patterns that what are the challenges, what are the problems, what are the pain points that the customers want to solve. And very early stage, we didn't build any slides ever, but at very early stage, we started to build prototypes. We had the UI, we had the front end, we had buttons with functionality, and we were able to explain exactly our thoughts to these customers. And at the first meetings, when we had the first UI, first prototype, they said that, yeah, doesn't solve any pains. Then we went back to the drawing board. 2 weeks after, we have a new prototype, we come up back, and then some customers said, yeah, this starts to be slightly interesting, but not yet anything that I would love to buy. Then we did this cycle of customer development and feedback with an actual prototype. And maybe after 2 months, 7 out of 8 customers started to say that, can we have it? Can we have it actually tomorrow? And the funny fact was that they actually thought that we have the product, but the reality was that it was just the front end, no functionality, it was only the UI. And then we went again with Tuomo, we were 2 guys, we went again, and what do we do now? Now we need to build it. And that took much longer than we expected. But at that point we knew exactly that what are the pain points of the customers, how we would solve them, and we did not slideware, we didn't solve the deepest technology problems, but we actually built the prototypes to the stage that every customer started to say that we wanted to have it now, and we want to pay for it. And that was the time that we started to build the functionality. That was midsummer 2013, exactly 4 years ago, and we were 2 guys, and I'm not coding, so it was a pretty tough job for Tuomo to build. And in 3 months, we got it live, the first prototype. And Tuomo still remembers that the worst day of his life, because I told to Tuomo that we promised it a month earlier, and then I told to customer that it will be ready a month later. And then when we meet in the middle, nothing was ready, and everything broke up. And we realized that we are very far from product market fit actually at this point. So we were sitting in the customer office. Tuomo tells me, this is what he does still. Kristo, speak. And then I start to speak something random, and Tuomo starts to code. And then after 15 minutes, random speaking, Tuomo tells that now we can continue with the implementation or anything else. But what it took from that point, so we thought that we knew what is product market fit with Metrify. We had no clue. With Smartly, we thought that we knew it when we had the prototypes ready, but what really it took was that we implemented the minimum viable product with the customer, and everything broke. And the use cases, again, were totally different. And then it took 3 more months to actually get the product functional, and the customers start to willing to pay for that. So it was a long, long journey. But when you have the product market fit, which we were never able to find with Metrify, it is amazing, because then you cannot keep customers out. Customers comes and pulls the product out from you. So we signed Rocket Internet as a whole 9 months later, 3 years back. As a customer, we were 8 people, 8K monthly revenue, no customers, but the pain was so huge for Rocket Internet that they needed to trust us. They have trialed all our competitors, they were not able to find a solution, and we were sitting at their office, we were holding our chairs, and we were shaking to keeping the platform alive, to add servers when they were scaling up 50 of their ventures. And that's really what happens when you have a product market fit. We never sold our product. We never went out to tell anyone about the product, but the customers came, and they were willing to take huge risks to work with us to build the product together, because it was so extremely painful for them to get their online customer acquisition in shape without our product. And that's really what product market fit means for me. So now the challenge, we learned how to get in there, but now the challenge is that we are 150 people, we are growing extremely rapidly, over 10% month over month still. We're adding new people, we're adding new features, we're adding new customers. But as I mentioned in early stage of the speech, the ecosystem is developing extremely fast. Facebook, Google, Pinterest, Snapchat is pushing new products out, new targetings, new ad formats almost every day. And in order to win the markets and win the competition and be adding value, you need to find the product market fit every day, every month again. There is few practical things that we've learned to do to keep that product market fit. We select still customers like Rocket that we work extremely closely with. Of course, there are not 150 customers or 400 customers, but we pick 5 customers. We bring them regularly, once a month, each of them. So we have once every month coming in, working directly with our developers. They meet, they brainstorm, they solve problems with our development teams. That helps a lot to keep the product market fit. And we select these customers in a way that they are the lighthouse customers, so they show the way for all the others. So we learn things that a lot of other customers will be benefiting in next 3 to 5 years. And we build them intimately together with the customers. So that's one, and it's extremely hard. In our industry, a lot of people have raced to the top, but no one has been able to keep there. Everyone has gone down. The other part, which is very, very tough, is hiring. And you need to hire to elevate the team. You need to hire people that do not need to be managed. And then by building a context, very strong vision, very strong culture, very strong goals for the company, the people that you hire to the teams can actually very independently build the product together with the customers and solve their day-to-day needs. But to make that work, you also need to have very independent and self-organizing teams with very little dependencies. Only APIs between to communicate, microservices on the product side, and to be able to implement the features fast without asking permission or needing to talk to any other team. And those are some of the things that we fight against all the time. We have 40, 50 engineers at the moment, and we are now transferring all our infrastructure to microservices and building that as a new technology platform that enables us to do even much better. But I think that is extremely hard, and we are learning very fast on that route. But if you're a founder, if you're thinking about starting a startup, without product market fit, you have no other challenges. That's the only challenge you have. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how much funding you raise, who you hire, what do you do. It will not go forward. But if you find the product market fit, I think every other problem is very easily solvable. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristo. So, wouldn't you agree that this is actually not product market fit, but rather market product fit, so market comes first?
I think it's a very good question. So I think as a founder, you need to think that you might have a product and you try to find a market that the product fits. Or then you have a market and you try to find a product that fits. And normally you do both at the same time, and normally you don't find any fit. So I think it can be either or. I think we did and tried both at the same time, and we got very lucky to find the match very early. Yeah.
This is great. I especially love how Finns talk. You go like this, in a very calm way. You talk about your stuff, and then we learn. And you can see that I started to laugh at least a couple of times, and people go like that. You go like, no, I was not laughing at that. Like, really good. Let's have maybe a question from the audience. Is there anybody in the audience look, there is a question there.
Hi, I'm Mikkel. I'm an ad spinner. So
Closer, talk to the knob.
this knob?
Yes.
Good. All right. Hi, I'm Mikkel. I'm an ad spinner. So what's your actual product or the market? What's the market and what's the product?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. It doesn't make a huge difference for the product market fit perspective, but this applies. We have a SaaS platform to help the largest online advertisers to acquire customers online. So we optimize their ad spend through the online channels, our product. So I'm talking, that's an important point, is that this what I know and what we've learned applies to SaaS product, B2B products, not consumer web or gaming.
One more question maybe? If not, then give a big applause for Kristo.
Thank you.
Kai gives you something small as well.
Thanks very much.